Today we're going to get right into it. Joe Biden still sucks. And his FBI, when it comes to guns and background checks, still sucks. Why does Joe Biden suck? Well, let's get into our new topic here today. We're going to talk briefly about the background check system, what we all know as the NICS, the NICS background check system, and how it is unfairly treating 18 to 20-year-olds. What do I mean by that? Let's check out an article here. The guys over at Ammo Land, great site, go check it out. Did a great little article about this topic. So Biden's FBI boasts about its young adult waiting period for human rights. When it comes to law-abiding adults 18 to 20, the FBI's NICS system should be renamed the Never Instant Criminal Background Check System. An article posted to the FBI's website on March 25th shows how the agency uses the ill-named bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022. This is that bullshit gun reform act that they brag about all the time, the bipartisan gun reform act that they got through that they brag about all the time. Under the BSCA, when a federal firearms licensee runs a background check on a purchaser under the age of 21, NICS is required to contact additional state and local government agencies in the prospective purchaser's jurisdiction before approving a firearm transfer. This includes the state agency responsible for juvenile criminal justice records, the state custodian of mental health records, and the local law enforcement agency of the jurisdiction in which the person resides. Here's where the issue comes in. These questions take time. Further, unlike NICS, these state and local agencies are not necessarily designed or equipped to handle these types of requests in an instant or even timely fashion. So, for example, prior to the enactment, in cases where the NICS system flagged an individual as possibly having a prohibiting record, the FBI had 3 business days to determine whether the person was in fact prohibited before the firearm transfer was allowed to proceed. In the case of young adults 18 to 20, the new law, the BSCA, demands that NICS extend the 3 business day check period to 10 business days, 2 full weeks, if cause exists to further investigate a possibly disqualifying juvenile record. The requisite cause to prompt the 10 business day waiting period is not defined by the legislation. So what does all this mean? Well, in a nutshell, under that law, a big thing about that law was people under the age of 21. Remember, you used to be able to buy firearms when you're under the age of 21, handguns. You had to go through the normal waiting period, et cetera, et cetera. But when the stupid Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooter did his thing at the school, and then Florida, my home state, passed the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Act, which basically said anyone under the age of 21 can't purchase a firearm. They couldn't do that on the federal level, or they couldn't get that through, basically, as part of their, quote, bipartisan bill. So what they did was said anyone who's 18 to 21, you get to take longer. If you're over 21, we still go with the regular rules of the 3 days. If you're under 21, we're going to go with a longer period of 10 days, which means it's not, by definition, an instant background check, which is what everybody says. Now, what they claim is, the reason why they say this is because juvenile records are harder to get than adult records. And look, I'm not going to deny that. Again, as most of you know, if you've been following this channel, I am a criminal defense attorney in the state of Florida. I specialize in Second Amendment firearm issues, and so I can tell you certainly I've handled lots of juvenile cases. They are correct. Juvenile cases are sealed once you reach a certain age. They're not public record. Only certain agencies can get access to them. Mental health records are another issue that is very difficult to get a hold of them. However, the problem is none of those things would make you a prohibited person. So in other words, if you're a juvenile and you are convicted as an adult, then that makes you a convicted felon. You can't have a firearm. If you're adjudicated delinquent as an adult, that record isn't sealed automatically. It's not sealed until, in most states, you reach the age of 21 or even 23. And even then, it's not sealed from law enforcement. It still shows up on background checks for various law enforcement agencies. Same with mental health records. If you have a mental health disability that required you to be hospitalized by a court, you are automatically a prohibited person already under the statute. There's no exception for juveniles. There's not like a different facility that they would send you to as a juvenile that would still qualify but somehow not get reported if you're incarcerated, or if you're committed to a facility by a court, that's still going to go on your permanent record. So it's another one of these things where it was a problem a solution in search of a problem, or a solution in search of a problem, right? That's basically what it is. They created a concept that didn't exist, and then they created a new law, which now makes it harder for anyone under the age of 21 to purchase a handgun or go through a background check, which is what the whole point was. If they had it up to them, they would have just banned it completely, just like we did here in Florida that says you can't purchase a firearm until you're 21. Obviously, they would like to probably make it to where you can't even own or possess a firearm until you're 21, but that would certainly run afoul of other things. So this is just another one of those hidden things that was in that bullshit bipartisan law that was passed a few years ago that Joe Biden keeps walking around and touting is a big deal because it's the first bipartisan gun legislation they've gotten in a long time. And most of us at the time that was passed were saying there's a whole bunch of problems with this bill, not just the standard obvious ones, but there's also a bunch of problems when it comes to these hidden little features in here that people didn't know about. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. If you're somebody who is 18 to 21 and you're looking to buy a firearm, check with your state first to see if it's even legal for you to do it. Again, there's some states like now in Florida you can't. But if you're in a state that you can, just know that your background check is probably going to take longer than the standard 3-day background check because they have to dig a little bit deeper into your juvenile record because they want to make sure that you can pass that background check. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.